I'm interested in discussing the result of some critical looking at conventional tennis teaching. One result of the teaching that goes on normally in the country is whether or not youngsters play tennis. And the results recently have been disappointing. Attendance at tennis courts is dropping, and we don't see as many Americans on the list of great players as we used to. Is there a reason? One possibility for helping to examine these issues is to simply spend time watching the great players. What do they do? Are people being taught to do those things? My own experience from having been taught tennis by a, quote, professional is that what I was taught seems to have nothing at all to do with what I see in the great players. And that as I in fact work privately to make my strokes a little bit more like theirs, my own playing seems to improve dramatically. Now remember, I'm a 71-year-old man with kidneys that are I'm in dialysis at this point. So I'm not talking from the standpoint of a person with all of the great health of a 20-year-old. So if I can in fact improve my tennis by means of these techniques, perhaps they might be worth examining by somebody with good health. Okay, so here's the first question. I remember when I was taught to play tennis. Let's look at the forehand. I'm a righty, so here is my forehand. And I was told that the net is here, and so I'm facing sideways to the net, and my foot placement's very important. And here comes the ball, and I swing the arm and hit the ball back. What's my experience with that method? My first experience is that if I hit the ball hard enough, it just flies completely out of the tennis court, or more than likely, it goes into the net since it comes in like this and bounces down low. What do I see on the professionals? Okay, here is the net. The professionals start out facing the net, or whatever is convenient. They stand like this. They move their wrist like that. So here comes the ball, and they swing the ball, they swing the racket like this. And they end up with the racket over the left shoulder. Watch these professionals. The racket moves like this. So here comes the ball, and now the racket's swinging like this, so the ball does a little loop. It doesn't just come in and go out. There is no direct impact with all of the stress associated with it. Instead, the ball stays with the racket a while, makes a curved path, and then goes out. How about the backhand? Well, I was taught the ball comes in like this, and I need to swing the backhand so that the racket meets it like that. Again, a direct impact. You know what the consequences of such a direct impact are? Tennis elbow, tennis shoulder. People get hurt. Now what happens if you learn from the martial arts that when a force comes in, you don't just block it directly, you deflect it? What about that? Well, what do the pros do? On their backhand stroke, they don't go straight out, they go up. So when the ball hits the racket, it again does a small loop and goes out. And those, you see their rackets go out like that. Do I see great variety in the strokes of the professionals? No. When they're hitting well, they have only one stroke on the forehand side and only one stroke on the backhand side. What about non-professionals? I see hundreds of strokes, all different, most of which don't work. I'm wondering if it's time to change the way tennis is taught. Thanks. Bye now.